A fallen hero honored 18 years after his sacrifice in Huntsville. Community members and fellow officers gathered on Bailey Cove Road for a memorial dedication to Huntsville police officer Eric Freeman. Freeman was killed in December of 2007 after responding to a wreck near Weatherly Road. Police say as Freeman tried to help a DUI suspect, the man pulled a concealed weapon and shot the 3-year veteran at close range. Freeman's partner and bystanders subdued the shooter that night, but Freeman died the next morning. His son is now following in his footsteps at the Huntsville Police Department.
I wanted to be a police officer for a long time, long before anything happened to my father. After this, it just kind of pushed me to do it more. I actually work out of the same precinct my dad did. I work out of South Precinct, and so I walk in the same room that he walked into 18 years ago.
Wow, what a way to honor his father. Well, today, HPD staff joined the Freeman family to ensure his legacy lives on. The Huntsville South Civic Association will maintain the memorial for years to come. If you're using the Affordable Care Act for your health insurance, you just might lose your health care coverage or face steep cost increases after a lapse in federal tax credits. Congress failed to pass the tax credit extension last week, posing the risk of substantially raising premium costs for hundreds of thousands of Alabamians and millions of Americans. And just tonight, House Republicans approved a narrow package designed to lower health care costs. It will allow small businesses and self-employed people to buy coverage through association health plans in an effort to lower premiums. It will also provide federal funding for cost-sharing subsidies that lower-income Affordable Care Act enrollees get to help lower deductibles. The GOP health care package will be sent to the Senate, but a vote isn't expected before lawmakers leave town for the holidays. The bill passed tonight ignores an extension or a solution to the expiring ACA subsidies. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us the local impact.
Congress's failed extension on Affordable Care Act subsidies is set to have a ripple effect. If they don't pass something soon, up to 500,000 Alabamians could see some kind of change to their health insurance premiums. In addition, Arise Alabama predicts the rising costs could deter about 130,000 Alabamians, leaving them with no coverage at all. That's alongside rising costs for childcare, groceries, and basic necessities. But the government doesn't have money to burn either. A proposed one-year extension of the subsidies would cost the federal government an estimated $23.4 billion. Senator Katie Britt talked about this in a statement on X, calling the Affordable Care Act an unaffordable system that fails the Alabamians who need it. She's advocating for reform. She said, "I will continue to support health care plans that make necessary reforms to the Obamacare marketplace so it's affordable and will benefit those in need. The change to ACA subsidies would take effect at the start of the year. With so many people potentially affected, Robin Hayden with Alabama Arise says it's going to have consequences for everyone."
There are going to be so many secondary impacts of people losing health insurance. There'll be people that we work with and see every day and that we rely on. There is a lot of anxiety. There is a lot of concern. And it's really hard, when you've been paying $300 a month for health insurance to suddenly have to come up with $600 or $800 a month. That's just not affordable for most of us.
The Huntsville hospital system says it incurs about $171 million in unpaid care costs every year, a figure already noting people's inability to pay for care. They said in a statement that if ACA subsidies are not renewed, we estimate that our service area would account for roughly 10% of the statewide impact. They added, "We will continue to work with our federal delegation to support policies that promote access to coverage and positive health care outcomes for North Alabamians." Alabama Arise says they're also working with the federal delegation to bring people's concerns directly to state leaders. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
4 Republican lawmakers are now backing a Democratic effort to extend pandemic-era Obamacare subsidies. That means Democrats now have enough signatures on their discharge petition to require a floor vote on the subsidies. Those enhancements are set to expire on January 1st, but the vote won't happen until later next month.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the Fox 54 Weather Impact Team.
And a very good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're going to begin to see some changes over the next couple of days, and you're going to notice it as you head out the door for work, get the kids on the school bus this morning, that we're talking about a little more cloud cover across the Tennessee Valley. Small opportunity for rain this afternoon, better opportunity for rain and even a couple of thunderstorms as we head into Thursday afternoon. Now, that rain on Thursday specifically is going to be associated with a cold front. It's going to drop our temperatures as we head into Friday. Now, before you go getting too terribly upset about that, the good news here is that it's not going to be as cold on Friday as what we saw on Sunday and Monday. So definitely a little bit of good news there. More good news for you. The final shopping weekend before Christmas is actually going to bring a much warmer air mass into the Tennessee Valley. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and tell you that temperatures are going to climb into the 60s. Here's what we can expect heading out the door for work, getting the kids on the school bus. 37 at 7, 39 at 8, 44 by 9, 47 degrees at 10 o'clock this morning. Though we are going to be talking about a mostly cloudy sky, there is also a small chance for a couple of isolated showers. Most of us are going to be dry, but just understand that a small chance of rain is going to be in the forecast. Through the course of the afternoon, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s, that despite the increase in cloud cover and the opportunity for rain this afternoon. 50 degrees at 6, 48 at 7, 47 by 8, 45 degrees by the time we get to 9 p.m. Holding on to the cloud cover and the opportunity for rain, we stay warm as we head into the overnight. Look at this. Tonight, early Thursday morning, temperatures are only going to drop into the low and mid 40s. Across the area. That'll be quite nice. Upper 50s, lower 60s as we head into your Thursday afternoon, that despite the opportunity for rain. Now, if we look at the long-term forecast and we're looking through about December 26th, the day after Christmas, one of the most depressing days in the calendar year, there's about a 70 to 80% chance that we're going to be talking about above average temperatures. Here's Futurecast as we head into the lunch hour on Wednesday. A couple of isolated showers this afternoon, but again, most of us are probably going to be dry through the course of the day. As we head into the evening, much the same. A couple of rogue showers might develop Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, but the vast majority of us are going to be dry. Futurecast tries to hold on to a couple of pesky showers even as we head into the overnight. Not 100% confident in that. Now, the chances for rain are gradually going to begin to increase as we head further into the day on Thursday, starting things off at 6 o'clock in the morning. Cold fronts still back off to the northwest, but as that cold front draws closer to the Tennessee Valley, so is the degree to which the rain is going to be widespread through the afternoon, and then even as we head into the evening. A couple of isolated thunderstorms are going to be possible as that cold front pushes its way into the area, but then by the time we get to 10, 11 o'clock at night, that cold front's through and we begin to lose a lot of the cloud cover. 55 today, 60 degrees on Thursday, just 45 degrees on Friday, plenty of sunshine. 59 on Saturday. Saturday definitely going to be the winner here this weekend because it's 59 degrees with plenty of sunshine. Warmer on Sunday, but more cloud cover and a small opportunity for a little bit of rain. 62 on Monday, 60 degrees by the time we get to next Tuesday with isolated showers.
We have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history.
President Donald Trump addressed the nation last night and touted what he considers his accomplishments this year.
Instead of, I feel your pain, I understand that things hurt, but here's what I'm doing to try to make it better, give me some time. This message was, I'm awesome, don't you see how awesome I am?
He repeatedly blamed his predecessor and Democrats for the country's woes, despite Republicans controlling the government.
It is not the Republicans' fault, it's the Democrats' fault.
Trump announced holiday bonuses for members of the military. He addressed affordability concerns by claiming prices were down. Consumer Price Index reports have shown a recent increase.
Prices have not, in fact, fallen according to the broadest measure of the inflation rate.
Trump also spoke about health care, as average Obamacare premiums are set to more than double. He reiterated an idea that does not extend related subsidies.
The money should go to the people, that's you, so they can buy their own health insurance.
The president closed by expressing his hopes for the new year.
When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We still don't know what the person is or who he is.
Still no break in the manhunt for the gunman behind the deadly Brown University shooting. 5 days after the shooting, police asking for the public's help finding a person who may have crossed paths with the person they're looking for, saying they don't believe the second person is necessarily involved in any type of criminal contact.
We have video footage of that determines to us and the detectives that can tell that this person was in the vicinity where the subject of interest was that we wanted that we actually have an interest on. Close enough that we feel that we need to speak with them.
Police also releasing this map on Wednesday, showing the person of interest's movements before and after the shooting and the area police are focused on searching. Officials have been pressed as to why Brown University didn't have surveillance video of the building where the shooting took place.
The multi-million-dollar school will not have a bunch of cameras in the hallway.
Providence Mayor Brett Smiley telling CNN,
"This building is on the literal edge of the campus, and the person of interest walked out the door that as soon as he stepped onto the sidewalk was no longer on campus."
We spoke to some students about how they felt about the lack of cameras. Joseph McGonigal Jr. is a friend of the deceased student Muhammad Aziz Umerzakov. He says Muhammad Aziz sent him these two photos from the same room where the shooting occurred less than an hour before the shooting. The caption reads, quote, "Got dragged to an econ review. He wasn't even supposed to be there." McGonigal says this is the only building without a security guard beyond the lobbies.
Barristan Holly was one of the only buildings that didn't have something like that, where they didn't have like a security guard waiting there, out like checking you in at the lobby.
He thinks there should be cameras.
If I'm being honest, this is probably the worst building for this to happen in, specifically because of these sorts of failures.
Graduate student Ref Bari was just 8 feet from the door where the gunman came in.
I mean, no question. Of course, there should be cameras in the physics side of the building. That's without a doubt, right? And you know, cameras, security, locked doors, all of this is like on people's minds right now.
The chief of the Brown University Police, Rodney Chapman, did confirm the account from student Joseph McGonigal Jr. that there was no security guard inside this building at the time the shooting occurred. We reached out to school officials to respond to McGonigal's assertion that the lack of a security guard and the lack of surveillance cameras in the old part of the building where the shooting occurred constituted security failures. They haven't gotten back to us. Brian Todd, CNN, Providence, Rhode Island.
Like scores of Los Angeles residents, Catherine Carreño has been protesting President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown.
2 people have been taken from just right in front of my apartment. I see the impact, and it's my neighbors and my community members that are being affected and taken.
Last August, she was among a group of people in front of a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility when an agent approached her as the vehicle attempted to enter. The confrontation ended in Carreño's arrest.
I just kept telling myself, you know, I am protected. Everything's going to be okay.
But what Carreño didn't know was that the Department of Justice would pursue charges of assault on a federal officer, a felony with a potential 8-year prison sentence.
When I first read the complaint, I was just like, they're lying. They're lying.
Carreño's case is one of dozens the Associated Press has tracked since President Trump began unleashing federal forces on several cities in the name of quelling violent protests and cracking down on crime. Attorney General Pam Bondi said protesters accused of assaulting federal officers would face severe consequences. The AP examined 166 federal criminal cases in 4 cities: Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Portland, Oregon. The analysis found the Justice Department has struggled to deliver felony convictions. Of the 100 people initially charged with felony assaults, 55 saw their charges reduced to misdemeanors or dismissed outright. Another 23 pleaded guilty to reduced charges that resulted in little or no jail time.
I think this is all about messaging by the Trump administration. I think they want to get out there the word that they're going to go after everyone, and that it's going to chill the behavior by the protesters.
In response to AP's analysis, the Justice Department said it will continue to pursue the most serious available charges against those alleged to have put federal agents in harm's way. A department spokesperson said, "We will not tolerate any violence directed toward our brave law enforcement officials who are working tirelessly to keep Americans safe." The Department of Homeland Security responded by saying 238 assaults have happened on ICE personnel since the start of the year, up from 19 the previous year. The agency declined to provide its list or provide details about how it defines assaults. Prosecutors have successfully secured felony indictments against at least 58 people, accused of throwing rocks and projectiles at federal vehicles, punching or kicking officers, shooting paintballs, and spitting at officers. Those cases are awaiting trial. The 5 people who already went to trial on misdemeanor charges were acquitted.
If you're using your resources to go after misdemeanor cases like this, there's a lot of real crime out there that's not being investigated or prosecuted.
One of the 5 trials that ended with acquittal included Sidney Reed. The D.C. resident was arrested after filming ICE detentions outside a jail. She was accused of injuring a federal agent.
I was detained for 2.5 days without being read my rights, without being told what I was being charged for, and without a phone call.
Body camera footage played at trial showed that Reed had not intentionally struck the agent. Instead, the agent had scratched her hand on a wall while assisting another officer.
Mind your own business. That's all you have to do. Mind your own business.
You know, I don't think what I did was brave or anything, you know, earth-shattering, but it is still kind of a sensitive topic because this is my city.
In Los Angeles, it took jurors under 5 hours to acquit Carreño. The jury didn't agree with the prosecution that the 32-year-old, quote, raised her hand and brought it down in a slapping, chopping motion, end quote, onto the officer's arm.
I'm not doing anything.
Now, weeks later, Carreño is still reeling from the experience, but plans to continue protesting and volunteering.
I get anxiety, but I still go. I am still scared of retaliation, but I think it's more scary to think about what will happen if we're not out there.
More travelers, more airplane seats, higher airfares, and lower gas prices. It all adds up to another 2025 travel boom.
Americans aren't letting economic uneasiness stop them from hitting the roads, the rails, and the airports for the holidays.
The uncertain economy is certainly not stopping them from holiday travel. This is yet another record season.
AAA forecasts 122.4 million U.S. travelers will take a trip at least 50 miles from home during the end-of-year holiday travel period. That's up 2.2% from 2024. About 90% of holiday travelers, AAA says, will go by car, with the national average for a gallon of gas sitting below $3 thanks to crude oil prices down 20% from this time last year. In the skies, industry trade group Airlines for America anticipates domestic airlines will carry 52.6 million passengers between December 19th and January 5th, up 1.5% over 2024. Expedia's Melanie Fish says passengers who want to travel with minimal crowds should avoid the highest volume days.
The busiest day for air travel is shaping up to be that Saturday right before Christmas. And then the second busiest day is shaping up to be the 26th, the day right after Christmas.
Airlines for America predicts U.S. Airlines will add 72,000 seats each day of the holiday stretch. Sarah Kopit, editor-in-chief for travel news site Skift, says airlines have prepared for the rush as best they can, even as the nation grapples with an ongoing air traffic controller shortage.
The airports and the airlines, they are confident that this season they'll be able to handle anyone who wants to come out and fly.
And for those who delayed booking their holiday flights, Expedia's Melanie Fish tells me that there still are some seats available, but expect to pay for them. She also said that some last-minute routes may require multiple legs or layovers, so make sure that saving money is worth that extra time. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And the award for most surprising move in Hollywood goes to the Oscars. YouTube just struck a stunning multi-year deal with the Motion Picture Academy to carry the ceremony. YouTube will take over the rights from ABC beginning in 2029. The Academy said the new partnership will allow them to expand the global reach of the Oscars.
I guess I'll come back next week and say goodbye.
I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
Buck Rogers star Gil Gerard has died of cancer at the age of 82. The actor was most famous for playing the sci-fi hero on TV from 1979 to 1981. Before he died, Gerard left a goodbye message for fans, which said in part, "Don't waste your time on anything that doesn't thrill you or bring you love. See you out somewhere in the cosmos."
Good morning, Krusty Crew, or should I say, are you ready, kids? Yeah!
SpongeBob SquarePants has cemented his legacy. The beloved animated character put his hands and feet in the concrete forecourt of Hollywood's famed Chinese theater. The voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny, was there as well to soak up the glory. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas High.
They're cute, full of energy, and a lot of emotions. They're not sure how to express.
We say terrible twos. Kids at that age, they
pretty much virtually every 2-year-old has tantrums.
At Mayo Clinic, psychiatrist Dr. Magdalena Romanovich teaches parents what to do during a tantrum, but there are significant wait lists for families hoping for help. It's a problem across the country, and for children with emotional and behavioral disorders, tantrums may not go away without treatment.
Frequently, parents would say, if only, Dr. R, if only you could be with us at home when we are really struggling with our child.
That sparked this study published this week. Using a smartwatch, researchers collected data like a rising heart rate, sleep patterns, and activity levels.
With this technology, we can predict the tantrum even up to an hour before it happens with the use of the data.
Not only do researchers say they can predict a tantrum, but also alert parents within seconds with an encrypted message through a smartphone app, allowing them to intervene. They say that quick action shortens severe tantrums by an average of 11 minutes. That's about half the duration seen in traditional therapy.
Kind of like me whispering in their ear what to do.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Shabbat of Huntsville is lighting a menorah of their own tonight in the Camp at Mid-City, celebrating the Festival of Lights in the Rocket City. They had dreidels, snacks, prayers, and a party to commemorate the occasion. Almost 24 people made it out to the event. They say after the terror attack at Bondi Beach, Australia, it's more important than ever to celebrate.
Especially after what happened in Sydney, Australia with the terrorist attack. We want to show the world that we're not satisfied with what we have till now, and we're not going to close up shop and kind of go into our gated communities, but we're going to spread out light and strengthen Judaism wherever it is, in any community, wherever it is.
You let a little light, all the darkness fades away. The way to fight darkness is not by cowering away. It's the opposite, by adding more and more light and more and more strength and more pride, and bringing it out to the streets and celebrating more and more.
Lots of celebration tonight. Well, several there say tonight it's special to come from all over the country to spend the time with family, friends, and the community.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True Crime Warrior Style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look, to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Download the Fox 54 Plus app today on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Samsung TV. Open the app and dive into non-stop content.
Did you know that you can get weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus? Here's how. Go to Fox 54 Plus on your Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, or Samsung. Once you're on the main screen, push the down arrow and click on the Fox 54 Plus Weather Impact 24/7 block. Here, you'll find radar, current temperatures and conditions, traffic cams, forecasts, and more, all available on demand. Want to get back to the main channel? Just push the down arrow and click on the 24/7 stream button. It's your weather impact updates 24/7 on Fox 54 Plus. Start streaming today.